how do you read the American reaction? How do you interpret President Trump's skeptical response to this alliance, especially his claim that China needs us?
Yes, well, first, your other guest makes an excellent point that China not only was sending a signal about its military modernization, but also presenting itself as a stable alternative to the American-dominated, uh, America-based rules, basically our rules-based world order, which has not really been rules-based. It's been might makes right, whatever the United States can get away with militarily. And President Trump's response, it it does smell a little bit like there is bitterness, there's a little bit of jealousy, and certainly on the part of President Trump, there appears to be some confusion as to why our strategy or our tactics are not working. And I've said before, we do not really have a strategy. We don't have an economic or military strategy. President Trump is very reactive. He seems to think that he can accomplish things by his instincts, his charisma, the force of his personality. However, this does not lay a good groundwork for American interests, and it also leaves any successive president with no foundation for future work. So Trump is taking a very short-sighted approach. He's very reactionary, and indeed his comments do not appear to appreciate the significance of this global shift of trade. And essentially because we like to think that we are maneuvering very large energy deals in the Middle East with Qatar and with Saudi Arabia. However, just like with Asia, the Middle East, Eastern Europe, our own actions are contradictory, and we are undermining our goals. So a great example is Trump imposing sanctions on Russia to get them to comply with with ending the war in Ukraine, imposing secondary sanctions on India, which just drives India into the arms of China. Our attempt and failure at imposing sanctions on China, which only shows the weakening American influence and shows the limits of American power. So what we are doing, our tactics are not succeeding, and we are only driving our trading partners to form alternative arrangements. Another great example is sanctioning India. We get a lot of raw materials from India. So by imposing high tariffs on them, Trump only undercuts his desire to bring manufacturing back to America. He says he wants to rebuild our manufacturing base, but we are placing unnecessarily high tariffs on India, whom we buy our raw materials from. Our sanctions on Russia are driving up global energy prices and only serving to strengthen Russia's economy and strengthen their economic ties with other trading partners. So we have an approach that is only undermining our goals. Another great example is Trump's viewing the military as the answer to everything. Our recent strike on a very small boat off the coast of Venezuela with 11 people on board. Secretary Rubio saying that we are now in combat with drug runners and drug interdiction in South America. This is just one more example of our chaotic, disorganized approach to global trade, where we still cling to a might makes right, you are with us or against us mentality. And this mindset is showing the limits of Western influence, the limits of American military and economic power, and is only undermining our goals as we see the global South trade, economic, and political alliances are strengthening to our own detriment.
Mm-hmm.